you're going to see someone very special today. You guys know that bestie Alex and I have been friends since I was like 12, and she got into books in the last few years, and we talk about books all the time, and she's been on this channel many times, and she just had her third baby, and her husband are just like, you know, doing the whole newborn thing. So I wanted to go and visit her. Now she lives 2.5 hours away, so I knew that if I was gonna go, I wanted to make sure that I went and actually was like helpful and not like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna come and like you're gonna like host me kind of thing. So I did bring a little gift, and I'm planning on going and doing some dishes and laundry and hopefully helping out. This little gift I put together, I got a whole Evino baby little like kit with things in it I think she'd like. And then I got these 2 books. She loves Abby Jimenez. I actually picked this up in my recent video and I was gonna keep it for myself. And then I was like, oh my God, she loves Abby Jimenez, so I need to give this to her. And then this is the one I specifically picked up for her. And then I also have this little spray right here, and it's like a room spray, which I figured would be nice with like poopy diapers and stuff. Then I got this super soft blanket along with some protein because I know she is breastfeeding and pumping, and so this will be helpful for that. I'm currently reading Need You By Me by India Carter. I'm probably gonna listen to this on the way there and just like finish it out. That's one of my favorite things about audiobooks. If I've already started a physical book and then I just get busy and have to do other things, I can easily finish it up while I'm traveling or, you know, just like doing dishes and laundry and stuff. I remember whenever my dad passed, one of the biggest and most important things to me was people just actually showing up. It was really hard to get people to understand how difficult it was to tell people what to do. Like a lot of time people would be like, well, what do you need? I'll help in any way that I can. And I couldn't even mentally think about like telling people what they should do for me. I remember there was a friend of mine who wanted to send my mom like lunch, and it was probably like a few days after he had passed, like, or after the funeral and stuff. And she was like, well, what does your mom like to eat? And I was like, oh, like she, you know, it eats pretty like vegetarian, pescatarian type of food. So like anything like that. And she's like, well, do you think this would be good? Do you think this would be good? And I was like, either one's fine. So then she's like, well, what's your mom's address? So then I gave her my mom's address. She's like, well, what would be a good time for her to get it delivered? And I was like, oh, I don't really know, like maybe this time. And she's like, okay, I think I'm gonna deliver it this time. I'll let you know when it, you know, shows up. And then she was like, oh, like the address isn't like being like, it's kind of finicky. I think I'm gonna try this and that. And at the time I felt so overwhelmed because I was like, for one, like I could bring her food and it would probably be like just as taxing for me to like tell the address and all the things. And I don't know, I just was like so overwhelmed even thinking of like what kind of food she likes. It just was a very overwhelming task, and it was a very thoughtful gift. It's not that it wasn't thoughtful, but it almost added more stress to me during my time of grief. And so I've kind of taken that, and whenever I have friends who are navigating a new season in life, I try my best to make sure that I'm not adding to the stress or being a hindrance, even in like me wanting to do something good for them. So I am gonna bring this little like gift here. I'm excited to give her this right here because I've seen a lot of moms that love the Aveeno baby products, and this is like a little gift set that has everything in it. I got this all from Meijer, and this blanket's super soft. But I, again, did not want to be a hindrance, so I didn't ask her what she wanted. I just got some things that I thought would be helpful. And I also let her know that I was specifically coming to do dishes. I was going to come and do laundry, and she could take a nap, she could take a shower, whatever she wants to do. And she was like, that's perfect. I actually haven't gotten a long shower where I can like shave and stuff. So if you know, whenever you come, I would love for you to do that. And then she was like, it would be great if you could help out with laundry. Now, before she got to that point of being able to say like, it would be great, she was like, okay, like what time are you gonna be here? I need to like pick up a little bit. I'm like, girl, like we've been friends for so long. Like you do not need to do that at all. And I think as women, we almost feel like we have to have everything together at all times. And so she was like, I'm, you know, sorry, like the house is a bit of a mess. Like, and you know, I remember when my dad passed, I had a very hard time letting people do things for me just because I was used to doing things on my own. So I think, again, it's not an easy thing to accept help either. And so I made it very clear, like I am not coming to be hosted. I am not coming to, you know, just like sit and hold the baby and like have you talk to me. I'm coming so you can take a nap, so you can take a shower, so I can clean up, so I can do anything that would be helpful to you, and then we're gonna talk and hang out for a little bit, and then I'm going home. And I want to be the person who is a villager, because I feel like we're always wanting to have a village of people that are there to support us, but it's like, how often are we showing up for other people in our lives, more than just like a text and more than just like a FaceTime or a call? Like, how often are we doing the things that are hard or inconveniencing ourselves to show up for our friends? So these are the things that I got for her. And she was very thoughtful and loving. Whenever my dad passed, she showed up for me in so many ways. And so I just feel like if you're the type of person who wants to have a village, you should be giving back to the people who are giving to you. And so, yeah, we're gonna head there. I'm gonna bring this little gift and help out, and hopefully she can relax a little bit today. I'm at Alex's and she's getting ready to get in the shower, but she keeps procrastinating, so I don't know when she's gonna get in, but holding baby while she gets in. I think she's gonna take like a long everything shower, like shave. She was like, is 45 minutes too long? I'm like, no, that's like literally fine. I'm gonna try to fold some of these clothes in a second while she's in there. I just don't wanna move until she gets in, because I feel like she's gonna wanna hold baby. I'm gonna wait till she like gets in and gets settled, and then start folding these clothes in front. I think she's gonna get in like a second or two. Look who it is.
And she didn't even tell me it was on. She's like, it's not even on.
She said, hi guys. I'm like, it's literally not even on yet.
She showed up, y'all.
No.
And she literally, like...
I wish I could be right there, but...
Here, you can.
I can't.
Let's show him the baby.
Baby boy.
No, she came, let me take everything, shower. She cleaned my kitchen.
You
she
look
mopped
amazing.
My floor. She thinks. She mopped
Hair
my
slicked
bathroom.
back.
She did the laundry. She took care of the baby. She changed poopy diaper. Wow, she did a lot, y'all. I am so grateful.
You've done a lot.
I did.
Just by creating him.
That's true.
That's a lot.
That's true.
The fact that I'm doing this for right now and then I'm going home. Like, I'm going home.
It felt so good to get a break. I'm not gonna lie. It felt good to just sit here and not have to
Good.
be like, oh, I gotta get up and do this.
And do this and do that. Yeah.
It's really hard.
I love you.
I love you too. Oh, I ain't cry. You know my hormones are crashing.
Oh my god, please don't. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm getting ready to go to Barnes and I want to see what books that they have, because I've been seeing around that so many people don't have Black History Month tables in their bookstore. And it's kind of bizarre, because in the past, like, there was always a Black History Month table. Last week when I checked, there was not one in my bookstore, so we're gonna see if maybe they added one today. It would be great if they did, because I'm always looking for new recs that I haven't seen everywhere, and I feel like the table usually has like newer books that maybe just haven't been on my radar, or like contemporary fiction books, and that's not like a genre I read all the time, so I don't know like all the authors to really like look through. I feel like I'm pretty well versed with like romance, but when it comes to other genres, it is nice to have a table with recommendations, so I'm gonna see what they have. I also want to go and pick up a new release that has been so highly anticipated, and I am a big believer in supporting authors like when their book is released within that week, because I know how vital it is for them to get on the New York Times bestseller list, and usually that first week is like huge for them. So I always try to buy their book during their release week. Even if I know I'm not going to read it that week, I will try to read it, you know, at some point, but I like to buy it during that week, because from Tuesday, which is usually when the book is released, to the next Tuesday, that's basically the time to have like, you know, that New York Times bestseller, like big push for the book. And it's not that they can't get on the bestseller list after that week, but I feel like if everyone's buying the book at one time, it's probably gonna be that first week. So I always try to support them. I am also gonna start a new book. I wanna start The Slums by Katura B, and I'm wearing this like cute little outfit. I'm wearing my boots with it and also wearing the skirt. It is about, I think, 45 or 48 degrees right now outside, but I think it's supposed to get to like 52 degrees Fahrenheit, which, you guys, it feels like it's summer. Like, I'm not kidding, it literally feels like it's summer because I have not had this type of warmth in so long. It was literally just like so cold, and then all of a sudden it got really warm. Like, if I look out on my lake, like the lake in our backyard right now, the water is still frozen. So it just has come kind of out of nowhere, and I want to really like appreciate it while it's still here, and hopefully it doesn't go away. But I want to start the slums because Katura B is an author that I know can hook me right away, and I have been scrolling so much on my phone. It's actually unreal. And I think it's because whenever I am like really busy, sometimes I'm like, I don't have time to pull out my book. Like, I just don't have time. Like, I'm busy, like I don't have time. And so I will just start scrolling. It's like, if you have time to scroll on your phone, you have time to pick up your book. Like, it doesn't take that long to get into it. And in my head, sometimes I'm like, well, it's gonna take me a little bit to like really get invested in the story. And I'll like make all these thoughts in my head that just like aren't even true. It really is just giving me a reason to like do nothing. But I really want to dive into a story and dive so deep into it that I don't even feel like I'm reading anymore. And so I'm crossing my fingers that this book does that for me, because I read Selfish by her, and that book definitely did that for me. I was obsessed with it, didn't want to put it down. I've recommended it to so many people, and it just is so good. Let me go grab the copy of it so you guys can see, because I have a special edition copy and the regular copy as well. So this is the special edition copy. It literally reminds me so much of Fast by Millie Belazar, if you've read that book, or even Where Secrets Find Solace by Kimberly Brown, which is like a recent read of mine. I really love this book. It's so sad and it's so slept on. Like, a lot of people have not read it. It's by a really small author. And this is a special edition copy. I rated this book for 4.5 out of 5 stars. I have to show you guys some of the inserts in here. The author signed it, and then there's like different pictures, like just stunning. And it's a story of someone who's really coming up, like from the ground up, trying to make it in life. And it makes the book feel literally like a freaking movie. Like, it just, these pictures, I don't know, they add so much to the story. I cannot get over them. So you guys should definitely pick up this book. There's so many other pictures in here too. I don't want to spoil all of them, but you should definitely pick this up if you want to read a story that's about just like figuring it out and doing things on your own and trying to make it when life is hard. You guys will really love this book. I definitely did. So I'm gonna read The Slums right now. And this is a book that is a part of her series, and I haven't read it, but so many people have said that it's good and it feels like you're watching a movie when you read it. And that's the kind of book that I need right now that's gonna get me off of my phone. I just got here and I'm already finding more books than I expected to buy, and the first book that I picked up is this book that's by Ali Hazelwood. It's called Two Can Play. I don't know if this is a new book or if she's just writing like just so fast, but it's like a little novella, and it's set in like a gaming like system or something, and it's spicy, it's enemies to lovers. I feel like her books are super fun, but I have not picked up one of hers in quite some time, and I feel like it's because in my head I always assume that I'm gonna like already know what's gonna happen in the book, even though that's not the case. So maybe I'll pick this one up and like read it, but someone needs to let me know first if you've read it and if you liked it. It says for the first time in print, so it does look like maybe it was released and it just wasn't like in print. Guys, this book is in the store. I already bought this one from an indie bookstore and it should be coming in pretty soon, but it is in store and I'm really excited to read this one. I feel like there's so many hockey romances coming out by Black authors, and this one looks like a really good one. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but sometimes when I come into Barnes, it's like really relaxing, and then other times it's not. And like the times it's not even because like the books, like I'm not finding books or whatever, it's because it's like loud, the music's loud. Like I think I've shown you guys many times where like the music is blaring sometimes, and this is like one of those perfect times where I don't want to leave because it's so relaxing. I'm finding so many new books, and it's just like very calming, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the music choices that they have, but today it's absolutely perfect. Guys, I did not realize that this book, Picking Daisies on Sundays, is actually in the bookstore. I'm just like blown away because this author, I found her on TikTok when she was like an indie bookstore or book like indie author, and now she has her book in Barnes. I just think that's so cool. Dreams really do come true. This book is making me realize that sometimes an author is just good at writing. Like, sometimes I'll read a book and think that the author just kind of like got a good book. Like, they just had a one-off, and that's, you know, gonna be the best that their books will get. But I'm reading Need You By Me by India Carter, and I'm finishing it up. And this is the same author who wrote the Tempted by Danger series. It's a very spicy book. And I remember loving that series, but almost just feeling like, okay, like series is over, like it was really good. And I wasn't really super excited to go pick up like other books by this author. And I kind of feel like that about a lot of authors. Like, I'll read a book that I love from them, and sometimes I'm just like not excited to pick up the rest because I almost feel like they cannot replicate how good the other books were in their new books or in like the new book to me. And this book is definitely proving me wrong with that, because this book is so good. It's spicy. It has a really good plot. It's really fun, very short. And I cannot stop reading it. I'm definitely gonna finish it today and start a new book, but it's reminding me that I need to go back to other authors' like books and see which books they've written and read them, because if I love a book by an author, I'll probably read the other ones and love those too. And it's not just like a one-off type of thing. Like, maybe they are just incredible what they do, which is like duh, and maybe the other books will be books that I'm obsessed with too. I think there's just been so many books where I've read by authors and I wasn't really obsessed with it, and I kind of compared it to the other story, so it's made me think like, I just don't know like if the new book's gonna compare to the other book that I love. But this book is definitely comparing. I'm gonna finish this up, and then I wanna go upstairs and open some book packages that I got with you guys, because I got some in the mail. I think I got one from Penguin Random House and then a couple that I purchased for myself. So I'm gonna finish this up and then we'll go upstairs and open those. These are the two packages here, and we're gonna open these. I'm gonna open the one that I got first because I already know what's in it. So it's like not nearly as like interesting because I already know what's inside this one. I feel like there have been so many books being released, and it's making me realize that I need to read faster. I know so many people have shared like what their reading goals are for the year and have said like, oh, I'm not like really making a reading goal because I just like want to sink into the book. Like, I just want to read them. And to me, it's like, yes, in concept, love that idea, but I cannot do that because there are so many books I genuinely need to read. Like, every single book that I get in the mail, it is a book that I literally want to read right away. And I don't know, it's like just not enough time in the day to read all of them. So the book that I ended up picking up out of here is Hearts on Fly by Toni Shiloh. This is her newest release, which I'm so excited about. Toni Shiloh is a romance author who writes like Christian romance, usually no spice. I've read, I think, 3 of her books that were just like really cutesy and fun. And this says, when the game changes, love finds a way to score. Jabari Hall has spent his entire life chasing victory on the ice, but one devastating hit leaves him benched, not just from hockey, but from the future he thought he had. Now as he struggles with deteriorating eyesight, his well-meaning teammates set him up on a date, hoping it will cheer him up. Only the date they choose is none other than Val Elliott, his ex's sister! Val never expected to be sitting across from Jabari, especially after the way he broke her sister's heart. But when Jabari opens up about his diagnosis, Val's guarded heart softens and she offers him a listening ear. What begins as a simple friendship quickly turns into something more. As Jabari navigates life off the ice, he's drawn to Val in ways he didn't expect. With her loyalty to her family on the line and Jabari searching for faith and new purpose, can they make it to the goal together, or will their hearts wind up in the penalty box? This looks so cute. A no spicy hockey romance. I feel like that's literally unheard of. Like, I feel like most of the time hockey romances are super spicy. This book is also a shorter book. It's like 313 pages and the chapters are really short, so keep that in mind if you go into it. And I also picked up The X by Frida McFadden. I haven't really had an interest to read thrillers lately, and I want to get back into reading thrillers again this year. And I think the thing that's like keeping me from diving back in is because out of all the 180 books that I read last year, my 5-star reads, or like the top reads of the year, like the top 25 of them were all romance, and I didn't really have a ton of thrillers that I absolutely loved. And I think it's because I really have to connect to characters for the story to be like interesting to me, and I have to really trust them and love them and want them to just like have a happily ever after, or just like want good in their life. And you can't really do that in a thriller. You can't really root for the person because they could be the villain. So part of me has a hard time connecting with thrillers in that way, but I do love like the fast-paced aspect. It makes me really excited to pick up the book because they're so fast-paced. So I want to get back into reading more of those this year. I just need something that's like quick and easy, and I feel like Frida's books are always that. So this one right here looks like it's about a girl named Cassie who seems to have a perfect husband. And it says, yes, she knows about his perfect ex-girlfriend, Francesca, the beautiful, brilliant chef, beloved by all his friends, but she thinks Francesca's out of the picture. She thinks Francesca's gone for good. Think again, Cassie. I feel like Freida McFadden's books are always about like a crazy ex-girlfriend or something. I have this box right here that they sent over. I'm gonna try to see if I can open it easily without absolutely ripping the box. They've taped it all the way around, so honestly it makes it kind of hard not to just like rip it, so that's what I'm gonna do. Honestly, this is why I go to the gym. This is why I go to the gym, so I can rip boxes open and I can be silly and not use my box cutter, just because half the time my box cutter is being somewhere, like held somewhere that I don't really know where it's at, and I just don't feel like going to get it. So I'm ripping over this cutesy box. Oh my gosh, okay, there's so much cute stuff in here, guys. I kind of wish that I had opened it up so you guys could like see how cute it is. But the first thing that they sent is this little card, and it is from, it says electric postcard, and there's a bunch of different books on it. And then I got this little postcard, electric postcard from Japan. This is cute. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm guessing this is from the author. This is beautiful. There are a bunch of bookmarks as well. Love craves cardamom. Love makes mochi. And are a few face masks in here. And some stickers. Okay, I'm getting the vibe of this. I'm getting the vibe. There are some electric postcard socks. These are cute. I love boxes like this, guys. I always feel so grateful to get them. And now for the book, okay? We're gonna open the book together because that box, I don't wanna like make any of the little things come out. These are like all over on the inside. This is the book. It's called Love Makes Mochi. This is super cute. It looks like a sapphic romance. Can she find her perfect fit? It says Lillian is about to live her best life. She's spending the whole summer in Tokyo learning from a legendary yet notoriously terrifying traitor, Taylor, not traitor. Getting a glowing recommendation from Mrs. Matsumoto could be Lillian's ticket into her dream fashion school. So when Lillian is tasked with designing an entire collection, panic sets in. She has only weeks to create 3 show-stopping yukatas with her signature goth twist. Luckily, Mrs. Matsumoto's rebellious, tattooed, and rainbow-haired daughter, Yua, offers to help. Flirting with this cute girl is way easier than sewing, but can Lillian find a path forward in fashion and love, or will she watch as everything falls apart at the seams? So this is like a sewing romance. Like she is going there to sew, and you know, that's like what she's supposed to do, and then she seems to start to have feelings for someone else while she's there, a cute girl that's flirting with her. So very cute, excited for this one, and the cover, absolutely perfect for spring. It's literally giving everything that I want to read in spring. Speaking of next reads, this is the book I think I'm going to read next. It's called Talking to the Moon. I think it's such a pretty read, just like the cover itself, and it's a book that does not have like a lot of reviews at all. I'm pretty sure it only has 2 reviews, which is absolutely wild. I'll show you guys the cover. I think I showed it to you guys when I got it. I'm pretty sure maybe in the last vlog, maybe this vlog. Honestly, I don't even remember. I think it was actually the last vlog, but I love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and these are the types of books that I love because this is a slow burn, and the author actually reached out and she wanted to know if I wanted to buy her book, and I was like, yeah, of course, I will buy it. Went online, bought it, and I'm pretty sure this is her first book. It says that this book is a slow-burning, emotionally layered novel about reclaiming your voice, building your own peace, and falling for someone who sees you, all of you, and stays. And this is also written by a Black author. I love supporting small authors. I love supporting Black authors, and I love reading a slow burn with tension and yearning. Those are my favorites. So I think I'm gonna start this one next because I, read the spicy read. And this is kind of what I'm in the mood for now that I've read like a spicy romance. I feel like I kind of go back and forth between the two, but I do want to pick up a thriller pretty soon. I have heard a lot of good things about Frida McFadden's Dear Debbie, so this is an option too. And I've actually been making like a little stack of books that I want to read, and I've been trying to keep them like front of mind. This is the stack, and so instead of doing like a monthly TBR, I've been kind of doing like weekly TBRs, which I still have my monthly TBR that I did and I posted and shared with you guys, but I just feel like every week my mood is changing. So maybe I'll start just like sharing my weekly TBR in each video of just like what is on my mind for the week, what I'm like gravitating towards. And I have Dear Debbie on the list because I left a poll up on Instagram and you guys said that you guys love this book and you said it kind of feels like her older writing, so I want to get into that. Also want to get into How the Plot Thickens. Don't know if I'm going to get to this week because honestly I put it in the stack because I just initially bought it and then I was like, I don't know if I'm like excited or just like grabbing for a magical romance. Just I have not been in the mood for like anything fantasy related at all. I really want to read Half His Age because I feel like everyone has been talking about this book and I really want to be a part of the lore. I have heard some not so great reviews and I've heard some great reviews, so I feel like I need to figure out for myself how I feel about it. I also want to read Heated Rivalry because everyone's obsessed with this book and I want to tandem read this one. Like watch the show, watch or read a chapter and then watch another episode of the show and then read a chapter. And I actually have this little like picture that one of you guys sent me on Instagram of how to do it. So I'm really excited for that. I also want to read Shadowed Obsession. This is a spicy read. I started this book a while back, like literally opened it up and was like, oh my God, how cute. And it goes, welcome to the darker side of the universe you've come to know so well. It's just a note from the author, nothing crazy. Started reading the note and I was like, not ready for this right now. Like not ready for this right now. It is spicy and it's like funny, spicy, like romantic comedy, but just wasn't ready for it at the time. And so I want to pick this back up now that I'm like kind of more getting back into a spicy mood. Also want to read Woman Down because I just feel like Colleen Hoover's books in the past were books that really got me back into reading. I would say I probably got back into reading in like 2013, and then I remember when I was working in Missouri, I would like give people her books to read, and like when I was working with people with disabilities, like I would talk about the books and they would be like so excited to hear about them and stuff, and I got back into reading from those books, but I don't know if I enjoyed her books only because they got me back into reading or if they were just like actually good or enjoyable. Like, are they like the Frida McFadden of romance? Like, I don't know. I haven't read one of her books in a minute, so I want to read that soon. And then I also want to read Heartbeats. This is a book that is supposed to be really deep and heartfelt, and it's by a really small author. So that's what's on my list for this week. I just got done making a little TikTok and I put it on Instagram too of all these book recs, and it was like a really cutesy little video that I feel like is just so fun. I was sharing recommendations for people based on the type of library that they would choose, like if they had a home library. And then I also made another video that was like books that you would read based on your wine choices. I've just been having so much fun just like making little videos on the internet, and I think that that's like the point, right? Like I've been posting like 2-3 times a day just because it's like so fun. And I feel like so often people will be like, oh, like this is the way to grow, or this is what you should do, da, da, da. And it's like, no, just have fun. Like make sure that you are having fun, and of course, you know, try to like make your editing a little bit better or whatever, but like I think your community will find you based on how much you're enjoying what you're doing, and I just have so much fun like sharing with you guys. So yeah, these are some book recs that I had. If you guys want to go see what those book recs were, you guys can go over there and check it out. After I got done with that, I immediately pulled out my phone and I was getting ready to just like, you know, save the video and stuff, and I saw that someone I knew got engaged, and they were someone that I knew from my old church. And she, I think, is like 48, maybe like 47, and she has 2 children that were adopted because she always wanted to have kids, but she wasn't in a relationship. And I don't know, I just feel like that's such a beautiful thing because they just started dating like I think end of or middle of last year, maybe early last year, but they like knew each other. And I just think it's so cool to see women who are not willing to settle and like holding out for that perfect person, because I've known her for probably maybe like 15 years, maybe more, and she's just always been single. Like I've never seen her with anyone, and now she has a now soon to be husband that she so adores, and it's because she held out to wait for the right person. So that's encouragement for anyone else who is kind of in that waiting period. Those relationships will come. You just have to really put your foot down and say like, no, I'm not dealing with people that I know don't deserve my time. I'm gonna scoot back because the sun is kind of getting really bright, so I'm hoping that it doesn't like get on my face. But I wanted to give you guys an update of Woman Down. I am reading this one because I've heard really good things about it, and I've also heard some mixed reviews and not great things about it. So I wanted to see for myself, like, how do I like this? Do I like this? I would say the first 6 chapters, super boring. Like I was ready to put the book down. I was like, this is not her best work. I'm really bored. Like it's just not enough dialogue. It's all inner monologue. And then we got to the like end of the 6th chapter and I'm hooked. I'm like in it. So I'll let you guys know how I feel about it as I get more into the book. I do want to give you guys a book haul of the books that I picked up yesterday at the bookstore. They still have these bags, and the lady at the bookstore was saying that it's just like a Barnes & Noble shortage because so many people bought books around Christmas. And then I also have some packages here that I want to show you guys, and these are from Amazon by smaller authors. So let me show you guys the Barnes & Noble books first. So this is the book that I actually went in for. It is Keeper of Lost Children by Sadiqa Johnson. This is the author who wrote The House of Eve. She also wrote a book called Yellow Wife, which I've read Yellow Wife, and I wanted to get this because I just know that her books are so good. And I'm gonna love this book. Like her writing is incredible. I ate up that book. I'm pretty sure I read Yellow Wife in like a day or 2. So really excited for this one. This is told in World War II Germany in an elite boarding school in Maryland, where long buried secrets bind together a visionary woman, a heartbroken soldier, and a girl in search of her true identity. Toggling between the lives of these 3 individuals, because there's 3 different people in the story, Keeper of Lost Children explores how one woman's vision will change countless lives and demonstrates that love in its myriad forms, familial, parental, and forbidden, and even love of self can be transcendent. Is that myriad or myriad? Myriad? I don't know. Either way, I know what it means. It's like the of many, and I am really excited to read this, so it's definitely going to be high up on my TBR. And I also want to read this book. This is the other one that I picked up. It's called Last First Kiss. This just looks like a cutesy little romance. I picked up this book because I really enjoyed I Think They Love You by this author, and thought it would be a really fun read just going into the year, because anytime I'm looking for something fun, I always want the book to be like exactly that vibe. And like, it's hard to sometimes find like a fun book, because even if you see the cover, sometimes the books are like heartfelt and deep and make you cry, and it's like, I wasn't in the mood for that. So I know going into this book is just gonna be a fun one. I also picked up a book from Amazon. You guys know I love supporting small authors through Amazon. And this book is none other than a new release by Lauren Lacey. It's called The V-Day Getaway. It's only sold on Amazon. She is an author that I've read probably like, I don't know, 10 books of hers. Like, I love her books. She came out with a Christmas book this year. She also came, or end of last year, and she also came out with like a 500 something page book that is so good. Like, it is incredible, and it only has like 500 reviews. And so I really encourage you guys to go pick up one of Lauren Lacey's books. If you are coming to the Chicago book club tour, we're actually reading The Winning Play, so you can read the book there. I'll actually put on the screen like the books that we're reading, because I've had some of you guys ask questions as to like what I'm gonna be reading. And I think what I'm gonna do is, because I've shared it on Instagram in different reels, but maybe I need to like put it somewhere else. I think I might put it within the description of the like book event thing, because I feel like that would be an easy place to find it. So yeah, The Winning Play is the second book in the series, but you don't have to read them in order. And we're reading that for the Chicago Book Club like little event. This is the V-Day Getaway. It is called a Valentine hunching novella, so you know it's gonna be spicy. I'm taking this with me this weekend to Chicago. Initially, I thought that I was going to post this video like for, what's it called? Like, I was gonna include stuff from Chicago in this video, and I've decided I'm just gonna like do it in the next video, because I feel like that is a little bit more fitting. But the V-Day Getaway, it says, Taylor Tiny Lynn knows what it feels like when life finally gets good, and she has no intention of letting it slip away. She's in love, she's claimed her joy, and for the first time in her life, Valentine's Day isn't a day she watches from the sidelines. It's a day she gets to live fully, boldly, and unapologetically. Coach Carter Gray has one goal in mind: spoil her with intention, devotion, and a love that leaves no room for doubt. From sun-soaked mornings to indulgent nights, the V-Day Getaway is a celebration of being cherished and chosen by a man who makes sure the woman he loves feels it in every possible way. Because when love is this good, you don't question it, you lean in, you enjoy it, and you let yourself be loved. Really excited for this. Again, it just came out, and I always love her book, so I'll read it pretty quick. It's only 120 pages or 17 pages. And then I also have this package right here, and this one is a book by Elizabeth Keckley, and this is called Behind the Scenes, or 30 Years a Slave and 4 Years in the White House. And I'm pretty sure, did this become a movie? Like, I feel like it did. I have been in my just era of reading classics, and so I always want to have them on hand so that I can just like dive into them when I'm in the mood for it, because I know when I'm in the mood, I'm gonna want it, and then I'll be out of that mood quickly if I don't get that book to read. And on the back it says, the remarkable and in its time fiercely controversial memoir of the former slave who became an intimate witness to the Lincoln presidency. And if you guys don't know, Abraham Lincoln lived in Springfield, Illinois, and there's like so much history of him here, so I always am interested to read books that kind of like tie in with that, especially books by black authors. So those are all the books that I picked up. I will give you guys an update on everything that I've read tomorrow. And I don't know, maybe I should continue this through Chicago. Maybe I will do that, actually. Now that I think about it, I might do that, because it would be easier than, yeah, I think I actually will do that. I think it'll be easier than like making a whole new video for Chicago specifically. So you guys are gonna come with me to Chicago tomorrow. Get ready for a good weekend.
You gotta go the wide angle to fit all that booty in there.
Which part? I'm getting ready to go to dinner, and I just want to show you guys my dress because I got it from Meshki, and I really like it. I try to wear something like really special every Valentine's Day. Brady also looks amazing. Don't get it twisted. Here, I want to show your outfit. Yes.
Hell no.
Yes. Here, hold on. Let me show. Why are you running? Oh. You look so good.
You don't picture that.
To some packages, and I also have the books that I picked up when I was book shopping the other day, and I want to show them to you guys. So we're going to start with the books that I picked up first, and then I want to give you guys a little wrap up as well of the books that I read this week. We had such a fun time for Valentine's Day. You guys always know that Brady is very intentional and always makes just everything we do so fun. And he booked a hotel at Waldorf Astoria, and like we had a couples massage there. We like went out and got drinks and dressed up and ate an incredible dinner, and it was just so special when book shopping, like literally my dream weekend. It was so relaxing, so fun. He gave me such special gifts, and I just feel so grateful to have someone who is so intentional and so loving and so caring and just makes, I don't know, like time together so fun. Like we had 13 Valentine's days together, and like it has never gotten old. And I don't know, I think when I was younger I always felt like if you got married it would be like boring and stale, and I can promise you that life gets 10 times better when you're married to the right person. It just is more fun. It's like you're having a sleepover with your favorite person. Like the way that you would have sleepovers like with your friends when you're like a kid and you would just like talk. It's like that, but like you have such a deeper love with them, and it's incredible. So 10 out of 10 recommend marriage, and also just like really leaning into loving that person that you think could be the one. So these are the books that I got at the bookstore. I got His and Hers by Alice Feeney because I want to watch the TV show, but I don't want to watch the TV show until I read the book. I recently went to see Wuthering Heights this weekend, which was part of like our little Valentine's Day weekend, and I actually have not read Wuthering Heights ever, and I'm actually glad that I didn't, because I left a little thing on my story saying that I like was gonna go see Wuthering Heights, and I was like, has anyone read the book? Like, is it as devastating as like the movie is? And so many people were like, oh my god, the movie is nothing like the book. And I'm kind of glad that I watched the movie, because if I had read the book and it had been completely different, I think I would have really had a hard time actually enjoying it. But I love the movie personally, but I've never read the book. And the comparisons that I've seen between the book and the movie are vastly different, but the changes that they made were changes that I think would have really been very irritating to me and would have made me not like the movie even more. So again, I'm very excited to read the book and actually see the true representation of what she was trying to create in the story, and talking about race and class and so many different important topics. But it was a really fun experience to see the movie having not read the book. With this, I feel like if I watch the show without reading the book, I'm not going to ever want to read the book. Whereas with Wuthering Heights, because it was so different, I now want to read the book to see like what else is in there that I missed. I know that there's like a whole part 2 that wasn't part of the movie, and it's just made me even more excited, which is how I feel most movies make me feel about books that I haven't read yet, but only if they're vastly different. If the shows are similar, I usually like to read the book first. So pick this up so that I could read it. I've read Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney, but that's the only thriller that I've read by her, so I'm excited to dive into this one. Also picked up People of Means. This is a book that I am really excited to read. It says it's a heart-trending novel about a mother and daughter, each seeking justice and following their dreams in 1960s Nashville and 1990s Chicago. 2 women, 2 pivotal eras, one dream for justice and equality. Excited for this because I actually had this in hardback, and I ended up donating it to a free library where the Black Lives Matter chapter in my hometown, they had or have created a free little library, and it was pretty empty, and so they were asking for people to donate, and I was like, you know what, let me give this book to the free library, and I think that someone will really enjoy it. I gave like a huge stack of books, and I definitely think that someone's going to love it. But my sister is actually the co-president of that chapter and has been for like 5 years or so, and they do such incredible work. They're giving out scholarships all the time to kids. They're filling up free little libraries, and this week or next week is their children's book week, and they give out free books to kids in the community, and the stories are centered on Black children and Black voices, and I think that that's so important. But when they were just saying that their free little library was empty, I just was like, I gotta fill it up. I gotta fill it up. So anyway, I knew giving that book away, I wanted to read it, but I knew that someone else would enjoy it. And so at some point I was like, I have to go and pick up the book myself. And it ended up being in the bookstore. So it was perfect for me to end up getting it. And I also got Dandelion is Dead by Rosie Story. I've never heard of this book, and I haven't heard anyone talk about it. And you guys know that one of my goals this year is to read more books that people haven't really talked about. So I'm excited to dive into this one. Before we get into these boxes, I do want to give you guys a wrap up of the books that I've read. And we're going to give a quick wrap up because I feel like I've talked about most of these books. I haven't talked about Woman Down by Colleen Hoover. Guys, I love this book. Absolutely loved it. I saw some of the reviews are like back and forth about how they felt about it. I was really enjoying it. I will say it's very slow up until probably chapter 6 or 7, which is a pretty far into the book. I mean, if you really are reading a book and you're expecting it to get, you know, fast or like start moving quickly, you know, within 30 pages or so, this is not the book to pick up. But this one, I'd say, starts picking up at probably like page 80 or so. And, you know, that's a pretty good chunk before, you know, to get to before you actually start to enjoy the story. But I really love this one, and I definitely am rating it 4 stars, and I would definitely recommend. I think that Colleen Hoover is an author in the past, and I was just like, I don't really know if like I like her books, because I don't know if I just enjoy them when I was getting back into reading. No, she still got it. She still got it. Granted, I know that this story was one she's written in the past and she kind of added to it, but I really love that one. Need You By Me, also love this one, 4 stars. I think I loved it because the main character has a storyline that's like really unique. Like her dad's a pastor, and he is like basically trying to run her life, and there's so many things that happen in this book. She's really trying to go out on her own. There's like lots of spicy scenes. It had a lot of aspects in the story that I feel like I don't see very often, which I enjoyed. 4 stars. And then Island of Us. Guys, this book is incredible. This is actually the second book. The first book is 8 Dates of Christmas, and I think I talked about this. And this book I really loved. It was probably one of my favorite Christmas reads of the year. And this is the second book, and it's about the twin brother and the best friend of the girl who's the main character in the other book. And loved it so much. I think it's going to continue in a series as well. 4 stars for this one. It's just fun. It's short. It's quick. It's easy. It's a book I will definitely recommend to a lot of people, and one you can finish super fast because it's less than 300 pages. And then The V-Day Getaway, very cute, very spicy. This is one that I just think is like, it is. It's like, it's just a book that is just enjoyable, and it is what it is. There isn't really too much to it. I feel like I'm gonna also rate this one maybe 4 stars. The Christmas read, I think I rated like 3.5, but I'm like, I don't know, I'm someone who can sometimes get a little bored of Christmas books, like if I read them back to back, and I feel like that's kind of what happened with the other story, because most of her books for me are usually like 4.5 star reads. And the Christmas read just was like, it was cute, but I was just like, it's like, okay. And then this made me realize, well, maybe that Christmas read was just like right book, wrong time, because I haven't had a Valentine's Day read, and this was exactly what I needed to read to get me into the excitement of the season. 2 books that I'm in the middle of, which I'll probably finish, and the next video I'm actually gonna have for you guys is going to be the books I want to read next month. And I think I'm also going to include a wrap up at the end of that video of the books that I've read this month. So I decided that just instead of making like a whole new video, I think it would just be easier just to combine them. And I know some of you guys had said in the past where, you know, you don't really have time to like watch through all the vlogs. And so I totally get that. So I was like, how can I still continue to add in, you know, my wrap ups and my, you know, different videos where I'm sharing all the books I want to read in the coming month and like TBR videos and stuff. I was like, how can I do that? I was like, well, if I make a TBR video and the first half is like the books I want to read and the last half is the books that I've read, I think that that would be the perfect mix. So I think I'm going to do that. These are the two books right here that I absolutely am loving but have not finished yet. This one I'd say is more of like it feels like a contemporary fiction vibe. Like the romance in it is like, you can tell the girl's learning to love herself. I have not met the main guy character yet, and I am about 50 pages in. You're seeing that she has a terrible, and I'm hoping that the guy that I've met so far is not the love interest, because you're seeing this guy that she calls her boyfriend, and they've been like having a thing for 2 years, but like, he's like, girl, like, babe, you know I don't like labels, like that kind of guy. And she's just like, you know, I guess that's like all that I deserve kind of thing. I'm hoping there's another love interest that comes into the story, but you're learning a lot about her, which I'm really enjoying, because sometimes I feel like in the romance, you don't get to know enough about the main girl character before you learn about the two characters together. I think if you like contemporary fiction and you're not a big romance reader, but you do like aspects of romance in contemporary fiction, this is a book you have to pick up, because the writing initially kind of feels like that type of vibe, and I can see how it's going to be written as the romance comes into play, more of like a slow burn, more of like learning to love yourself and, you know, accepting the love that you should deserve or that you do deserve. I think that that's going to be the vibe of this book. So I'm about 50 pages into that, and then I started Eleanor and Gray by Brittany Cherry, and I'm about 30 pages into this, not super far, but I already know the vibe of this. It's going to be cutesy, it's going to be fun, it's going to be Brittany Cherry, which is, you know, what her books typically are. Loving both of these so far, like loving them so much. And then I have two packages. This one is from Call and Response Books, which is a Black-owned bookstore in Chicago. I went to Chicago obviously this weekend, and I went to Exile and Bookville, but I did want to go to Call and Response Bookstore, but I did not have time, because the bookstore that we went to, Exile and Bookville, was only like 8 minutes from the movie theater, and so we just were like, we'll stop there kind of like on the way. And then if I went to Call and Response, it would have been like 30 minutes to get over to Hyde Park. So I just did not have the time to do that. It was just so busy in Chicago this weekend because of Valentine's Day. So I really wanted to make sure that I got time to get the books that I wanted, but to also relax. So you guys know that this is one of my favorite bookstores and my favorite Black-owned bookstore, because they ship so freaking fast. Got these 4 books. I literally ordered these like a day or so ago, and they're already here. Got a bookmark as well. I picked up the book Fate's Bane by C.L. Clarke. This is a book by a Black author, and it says that it's a tragic sapphic adventure with warring clans, burning hearts, and deadly fate. I don't really know what is in this. I do know it's a fantasy, and I do know that it is a sapphic fantasy, which I feel like is very hard to find a sapphic fantasy by a Black author. Like, I was like, I have to read it. So this is a fairly short book, so I feel like I'll finish it fast. It's like 156 pages. And then I also picked up Yours Forever by Farrah Roshan. This is the last book in this cutesy series. Have not read any of the books, but I know that I will, and I feel like I'll be more excited to read cutesy fun romances like this when it gets a little bit warmer. This says Tamron Rest, PhD, did not plan to swap Boston lecture halls for dirt roads, a failing radiator, or a surprise motorcycle rescue. Wow, it's giving small town vibes. I love that. Again, this is part of a series, and this is book 3, and there's 211 pages in this, so I feel like I'll finish it super fast. I've also picked up When Javi Dumped Mari by Mia Sosa. This is one of the books that I put into the free library, and so I wanted to buy it back, and what better way to buy it than from a, you know, Black-owned bookstore. This says 1 engagement, 2 best friends, 3's a crowd. I have read one other book by Mia Sosa, The Worst Best Man, and it was really cute, so I wanted to pick up another one by her. And then I also picked up Fire, Sword, and Sea. This is Vanessa Riley's newest book. Don't even know what this one's about, but I really feel like it's gonna be good. It's about I do know, because actually I've heard a lot of people talk about this. It says the real pirates of the Caribbean were Black and women. This is a book from Vanessa Riley, and is a sweeping, immersive saga based on the life of the legendary 17th century pirate Jacques Delahaye. This is set in 1675. I freaking love historical fiction. I love finding out about people that I don't really know much about or hearing more of their stories, so I'm really excited for this one. And then I have this package here. This is also from a Black-owned bookstore. Again, I have not found Black History Month tables at any bookstores that I've been to this month. Like, literally not one bookstore, which has been very disappointing. And one of you guys actually mentioned, because I was saying in the last video that I haven't been able to find any Black, like, History Month tables, and in the past I have been able to find them. And one of you guys said, well, like, I think that it's because of, you know, the changes that the administration has made, and I think that that's part of it, and I know you don't really talk politics, and I just basically wanted to add that that is why, like, I think that that is the case. I talk politics to people that I have met in real life. Like, I am never someone who is trying to, like, share an opinion with someone who doesn't want to hear it. And I feel like I'm a very outspoken person. I'm a very confident person in my voice and in my own convictions and in my thoughts. And if you guys have been here for a while, I feel like you know that I'm constantly sharing diverse stories. I'm constantly encouraging you guys to have empathy for people who have stories and who have just a life that doesn't look like your own. I think that, like, romance and just diverse stories in general really adds so much more empathy and perspective to someone's life. This channel shows, like, me and my personality as a whole, and that to me is, like, very loving, very caring, very giving, very open, very accepting, very much like this world is a better place when we're together versus when we're not. And I don't know, yes, you mentioned that I'm not someone who is talking about, like, being a political person or about politics on the internet, but to me, I feel like I am. But maybe because people don't see reading as a political thing, maybe, like, that to them is not political. Like, when I'm talking about, oh, I want to read stories by people who have different relationships that, you know, you don't see as often. That to me, it's like, well, that is political. Like, that is, I'm sharing a story and a perspective that maybe isn't widely accepted and maybe isn't legal in some places. Like, that to me is political. And so, like, this whole channel, I feel like I talk so often about many different things. I feel like the conversations we have surround a lot of things that are deeply political. So, you know, I am part of the 92%, and I'm very proud and I'm very confident in my voice and my feelings and convictions. But I also, again, am not someone who is trying to run up behind somebody else at their big age to make them think or feel or be a certain way. Anyone who is, like, listening and maybe feeling a bit of overwhelm or feeling like a little bit stressed of just, like, where the world is going, I think one of the biggest things that I really try to lean into is action. Like, you can see something on the internet, you can, you know, like, hear something from someone else and feel fear and feel frustration and, like, all that pent up emotion, and just, like, have it like sitting there is not good. Going to work with that and having that be there constantly is not good. And sometimes you can't take those feelings away, but I like to try to harness it and put it into something else, whether that's supporting an organization that's doing incredible work financially or with my time. It's doing something actively, even if it's just reading a book to know more information as to how people in the past have worked through a lot of the struggles that we're working through again today. And I also think that I try to remember how far we have also come. I think, thinking back to, like, my 89-year-old grandmother, who actually just saw, I talked about her in the last vlog, how she lived in a time where my husband and I couldn't have been married. And she also lived in a time where, you know, people who, you know, were women, like, couldn't vote or couldn't have, you know, a credit card without their husband on it. Like, she just lived in a different time. And I I feel so blessed to be in a place where I am today because we have come a long way because of the people before us. And I tell myself, who am I to sit here and do nothing when they suffered so much before me to get to where we are now? And for me to live the life that I live now, have the liberties that I do now, to have, you know, the incredible life that I do. And I just always think they have come too far for me to get here and basically sit on my butt. You know what I mean? So like, I always try to harness my feeling into action because I think that that's going to be the thing that brings more change than just being upset about what's happening. Really hope that next year we see more Black History Month tables. I really hope next year we see more celebration for us. And if we don't see it, I hope we also create it. I am someone who is very, very adamant that yes, the world should create these spaces for us, but also if they don't create them, we have to make them because I mean, God forbid our children grow up in a world where they don't see themselves celebrated in stories or see themselves celebrated just in the world around them. And I absolutely will not live in a world that has them existing in it as if they are nothing. So we have to create it ourselves. So anyway, these are books that I got at Village Books, and I picked up these books from bookshop.org, which is an organization where you can basically pick a bookstore to give proceeds to, and they give like a percentage of your sale to that bookstore. And so Call and Response Books, I bought it directly from their website. Like the girl, she ships it from her bookstore, but there's other bookstores who don't ship directly from their stores. And so I use bookshop.org. It's a great way to support indie bookstores and Black-owned bookstores too. So I ended up getting Until the Last Breath by Shanor Williams. This book is looks like a really, really good book, but it's also really short, which I'm excited to read. It's less than 300 pages. It said, years ago, I fell in love with a man named Maximal Grant, tall, smooth-talking, handsome as hell, Maximal Grant. This is the story of how Maximal Grant went from being my toxic first love to the man who ultimately saves my life. And trust me, this will not play out the way you think it will. What does that mean? He's toxic? He's toxic? No, not a toxic guy. I hate a toxic guy. I love when a guy's obsessed with a girl. I hate when a guy's toxic. But I love Shanor Williams, so we're definitely gonna read this one. I also picked up Skate It Till You Make It. I think I told you guys in the bookstore that I wanted to get this one and I wanted to read it, but I definitely had already purchased it from a bookstore. This is the bookstore that I purchased it from, Village Books. I want to read this one very soon because I feel like it's starting to get to the warmer months, and once it's warmer, I'm not going to want to read like a skating story. But then again, I did tell myself this year that I was going to read more books that are not necessarily set in the season I'm reading them in. I just want to read based on the mood that I'm in. So I could see myself definitely reading that maybe like fall or something, even if I miss like the summer, but I probably will not read it in the summer. So I want to read it either now or it's going to get like pushed back probably till later in the year. I also want to read The Redo List by Denise Williams. This is her new book that came out. It says, what would you do with a second chance at first time? Following a bad breakup, Willow Lewis tackles a redo list with the help of her brother's best friend in this sweet and sexy new romance from Denise Williams. I also picked up Vanessa Jared's Got a Man by Laquette. I read the second book in this series and really loved it, so I want to pick this one up. And the second book is called Janae Sanders something or other. It's like a decently long title. Cannot remember it, but I love that book so much that I ended up getting the first book. And what's funny is the reviews for this book aren't like amazing, and I think that's why I never picked it up. But I read the other book, loved it. So I just think that sometimes writing style is not for everyone. Like maybe someone read this book and they're like, it's not for me. But you can't take people's reviews as like Bible, because maybe the thing that they loved is something you'll hate, but also the thing that they hate might be something that you will love. So excited to dive into this one. I also picked up This Ain't Our First Rodeo, which is a young adult book, I'm pretty sure. And this is a book that's like a small town romance, so I can see myself easily reading this in the summer. And the chapters are literally like 1 or 2 pages, so I feel like I'll finish this super fast. The cover is also super cute. Like, look at that. I love that so much. I love that so much. And then I also picked up Best Offer Wins by Marissa Cascino. This is a book that is like, I'm pretty sure This is a book that's like kind of satire. It says, in an insanely competitive housing market, a desperate buyer on the edge, Marissa Cashino's darkly hilarious debut novel asks, how far would you go for the house of your dreams? It says it's dark, biting, and laugh out loud funny, and it's a razor-sharp exploration of class, ambition, and the modern housing crisis. So really excited to dive into this one. I feel like I'm always wanting to read books that have like a deeper theme, but they're like funny, and like I also feel like some harder topics are easily like digested when I'm reading either a romance or something that's like funny or just like quippy, because yeah, it's like you're gonna get something that's hard hitting and like maybe something that's hard like to sit in your brain, but then you're gonna get a laugh like right after, or you're gonna get like a cutesy like happy feels afterward if it's like a romance. So it just makes it a lot easier to digest. So those are all the books that I picked up, all the books that I've read. And yeah, I hope you guys like this little chat. Sometimes when I start talking, I am like, ooh, like take that out, ooh, cut that out, like don't say that. Like I overthink. And I actually had like a part that I ended up deleting when I was in the, what's it called? In our hotel. And I was talking about this book because this book actually has a scene where the character is talking about some domestic violence that she's went through and how it was really hard. And it made me think of someone that I knew personally who'd went through domestic violence and how sad and tragic it is, but also how much guilt you can put on yourself for the things that you wish you had done. And I've had many conversations with this person, and you know, you never know what someone is going through. You truly don't. And in this story, you're looking at her and you're like, dang, like I can't imagine she'd be the type of person who would go through that. But that's the thing, is like you don't know. There is no perfect view of what someone looks like or who someone is based on what they've been through. And I think sometimes in movies we'll see like a domestic violence victim and they look a certain way or they act a certain way or their life has been a certain way, so you feel like, well, that's the certain type of person who would go through that. And this story is really leaning into the idea that like it's anyone, it's anybody, and you know, it's very sad, and it's very hard to get out of, and it's also very hard for you to not put blame on yourself as you're going through it. And so I kind of talked about that a little bit, and then I got done with filming it, and I went home and I was just like, I don't know if I want to like add that in. Like, you know, what if I'm not being like, what if I'm not handling that conversation with enough care? What if I'm not being empathetic enough to the person who is watching or listening to this and they've been through something like that? Because I have never been through something like that, but I've seen people who have been through it. And I kind of ended it off by saying, you're not alone. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of being treated well, and you should never have to go through something like that. And I hope you never will. And I ended up deleting it and being like, I don't know if I handled that with enough care. Like I should have said this or should have said that. And I almost feel like as I'm finishing this video that I'm feeling the same way, where I'm like, oh, like maybe I should have said this or I should have said that, when it comes to how I'm talking about the community and the world around me and people I want to support and how we can uplift one another and just, you know, all the things. And I have to remind myself that the people who get it will get it and the people who don't won't. And some people will choose not to. And then some people will just understand I'm a human person who just is sitting in front of a camera telling you how I feel and trying to do it in the most eloquent way. But again, I'm just a human, which is, I think, part of why sometimes I don't talk about how I feel about whatever. It could literally be as deep as a movie that I saw or a book that I read. Sometimes I don't go into like the complexities of something because I almost don't feel like I get enough nuance on the internet. Like people don't allow people to have nuance or just go deep enough to understand what they're trying to say. And I do feel like on my podcast, I talk a little bit more in depth, and maybe that's because when I talk on my podcast, it's more like it's like a long chat. Like, you know, you're gonna talk probably for 45 minutes about like 4 things. So it really allows me to be in depth about a like topic. And I feel like on YouTube, I definitely get more of that than like TikTok or Instagram. But I will say, you know, after about 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, I gotta wrap it up. I'm getting boring, I gotta wrap it up. So I have been trying to remind myself that my voice is valid, the things I say are valid, that you guys do enjoy hearing my perspective, that even if you don't agree with my perspective, then, you know, that's okay too, because we're all human. We will not agree on everything, whether it's religion or whether it's the city that I live in or, you know, whether I buy too many books or whatever. And I always have to remind myself of that, because as humans, we will not be like the same on everything. And that's totally normal. Like, that is literally very normal occurrence. So even if I read this book and I talk about it and you're like, you know what? I don't think she said the right thing about domestic violence. I think she should have said this or that. I know that you guys are going to give me the compassion and you're going to give me the benefit of the doubt, because you're going to recognize where I'm coming from. And if you don't, then it's just like, you just don't get it. You're just not picking up what I'm putting down, because I am coming from a place that is good and loving and full of care. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a long chat, but I always feel like the long videos are my favorite, and every vlog now has been pretty long because I feel like I'm adding like all the week, just like squishing it into one versus like lots of different videos. So it kind of makes it fun and less editing for me. And I hope you guys have been enjoying it. And I know it's different going from so many videos to one a week, but it's allowed me so much more time to like really live outside of the camera. And it's also allowed me to have more conversations like this, where I can just talk and talk and talk about my perspective and books that I'm loving and like what I'm hating about it and what's great and what's not, because I don't feel like I need to like hurry up and rush to get to like the next video or the next edit or to do my thumbnail or to do this or that. It just has made life a little bit easier. So I thank you guys for just being so gracious with the change to one video a week. I've really been loving it, and I hope you guys have been too. So yeah, the next video is gonna be a video sharing all of the books that I'm most excited to read, and I'm gonna share that on Saturday. And those will be all the books that I want to read in March. And then I also am going to share in that same video a wrap up of all the books that I have read thus far. So you guys will get an update on these books once I finish them. Loving them so far. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.